like in a meta, say like you're Mineski, right? It doesn't matter that you won, right? It doesn't matter that you have this run through star ladder, because at the end of the day, the meta is going to change. You need to be able to replicate that kind of success. And for me, Newbee is like, that's why they are like almost champions. They're almost TI champs. Like, you know, they're so close. But the impressive thing is they're able to do it time after time after time.
All right, draft number 1 is underway. 3 bans and 2 from Vici so far, and they've banned both the Omni and the Razor.
Lesson learned.
Just to make sure neither of them get through.
Lesson well learned.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think they've been the team, Black, that have focused on what we would call simplistic draft bans, which is you're playing Super, ban 5 of his heroes, and then block pick one of them as well, just to rub his nose in it. That takes 6 away from him, because they've identified he's the pace setter, he's the guy that makes them tick. Take it away, the team can't beat us.
Yeah, I was really surprised they went away from that yesterday, and well, now they're going back to it, so I'm happy for them that they figured out whatever was wrong yesterday. Well, Lanham is a smart guy. He won't let the same mistake happen twice usually.
Yeah.
But as I said, he's like usually the one in charge, like calling these group meetings together.
Interestingly, on the other side of things, Newbee have kind of followed a similar thing here. 3 very strong Vici heroes in the opening dance.
1 Lanham hero, 2 Fenrir heroes, purely support focused, which I understand, because for VG, what enables their like superstar cores, Ori and Paparazzi especially, are those support rotations, as well as the heroes they pick for them.
Yeah, that Elder Titan in particular was very impressive.
Lanham's Elder Titan is crazy good.
Yeah, I think especially if you've watched the other Titan that just dominated against the Titanhunter, you're looking at it and going, okay, if it can be run as a 4 position, if you can run it as off lane, and we don't have the experience to know what to do about it, let's just ban it out, right? Again, the safe ban. You may be theory crafting ways to be able to deal with it. Maybe you're looking at that one match and go, okay, off lane Elder Titan, that was a game that he definitely overperformed on the hero. He shouldn't have had so much success. You know, slightly different heroes, a little bit better laning phase or something, that hero wouldn't look nearly as good.
What it does do is allow Vici speciality, the Undying. We haven't seen it from any of the other teams, but we have seen it from them a number of times. Why do they favor this, Black?
Well, it really fits their playstyle, because they usually go for like more greedy cores on Ori and Paparazzi, and Undying is one of the few heroes that can actually almost guarantee you like a lane win. Whether he goes middle or safe lane, that lane will be secure, because you cannot fight that guy level 1. And he's also one of the only position 4 supports that can actually fight this Ogre, because Ogre just bullies your mid lane usually, but if there's an Undying, you can't do that.
And Witch Doctor is not bad either, because the fact that Ogre's biggest strength is that he's just a big dumb brute. His HP is going to be significantly cut down. He's going to be pretty fearful of Maledict. So I like both these openers from Vici Gaming. It's just like very strong supports, very team fighty. Not the like best control in the world. So if like later on we see like a Storm Spirit or something picked up by Newbee, then those supports may be a bit of a detriment. But for now, it's fine.
Yeah. And then we see the Gyro come out. Very common pick against Undying. You hit the Tombstone, you kill all the zombies at the same time. And it's a comfort pick for Newbee as well.
Yeah, very Chinese meta pick as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are pretty much no surprises so far in this draft. I mean, maybe from the panel, we're surprised that like Undying was left out there, for example. But these 2 teams, I think, you know, considering the bans, Newbee left the Undying out there, knowing Vici would take it. In turn, Vici Gaming also left the Ogre out there, knowing that Newbee would naturally pick up that hero. And I don't think there's any question that Gyrocopter is one of the best counters to Undying. So
we talk about
well for each other.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we talk about meta within the current patch, but there's also the meta within the current tournament, because that has an evolution of its own. And you get to the grand final, and you shouldn't really be seeing anything crazy or unexpected, should you? Unless the team have kept something, 1 thing or 2 things back.
But usually, there's nothing special in grand finals, because you kind of want to throw everything special out before the grand finals to even get there, because if you're in the grand final, you will believe you're the better team, and the better team will always be shown in the best of 5. There's actually no way that the worst team can cheese its way through a grand final, I think.
Yeah, and I think
not possible.
Yeah, the odd game maybe.
Yeah.
The only time you do see something unique in these longer series is the fact that a meta develops within the series itself. You know, some sort of hero or something becomes more important, and then you start stretching out a little bit in your picks and saying like, oh, if they get this one special hero, like what about this hero that counters it that isn't actually in vogue, but you know, it probably would be bad in most other games, but it's good here.
And then oftentimes they didn't even practice with it. They just kind of like go with it because it's really good in the situation. And then it works out amazingly, or they fall flat on their faces. Brewmaster ban. I love Young 11's Brewmaster, or Old 11. Why did he name himself
No,
Young
he's
11?
Young 11 now. Yeah, he's gone back to being Young.
I wonder why. His old name fit him so much better.
Because we had a photo together yesterday.
10 seconds remaining.
Old 11.
All right. I can,
Yeah,
I can accept the reasoning.
He had an early to midlife crisis. Wanted to feel young again.
11. That
11.
doesn't fit though. I think that's too long for the game.
Way too long. What are we looking for here for VG?
I mean,
they haven't shown any cars, honestly. The game plan they have, you can't really decipher yet. You have to wait for the next car pick they show.
most of the physical damage heroes that were picked against Gyrocopter early on in the tournament have been banned away. Lifestealer and the Razor. I think those are two of the better counters to Gyrocopter. You just want physical damage and ability to be able to close down on him, right? Yeah. Like if this was a different different meta, we would say like heroes like PA would be valuable.
Yeah. Like even generally, like Gyro is supposed to be very strong against heroes like CK, but if CK can ever get on top of Gyro, the hero just blows up. Like Gyro is a very, very volatile hero. He deals a lot of damage, but he also dies just as fast.
That's a great choice. The Beastmaster, because Gyrocopter is pretty reliant on BKB, you've got something that is able to shut that down. He's a good physical damage hero as well. He's a little susceptible to the flag cannon shots, but I think all around this is just a solid offlaner that was left in the pool. And surprisingly was not picked up in the first one too.
5 seconds
Yeah.
remaining.
What I like the most about Beastmaster is it allows you to pick more greedy cars that can't actually pressure towers or objectives at all. Like a Slark that we've seen a lot. Usually it's paired up with a Beastmaster because you don't have to worry about the tower push anymore. Or even the Roshan.
And it naturally amps up, say you were to draft like a Dusa, for example, like it naturally amps up those kind of heroes as well. So you feel a little bit better about those harder carries being able to come online a little bit earlier.
I mean, it's really good for the two superstars that was drafted around, right? Paparazzi as well as Ori.
Yeah.
They will love these kind of auras. Like, buff me, I'll carry you guys.
So you think that's, I think we're kind of in agreement here that Vici Gaming are probably looking towards a little bit better late game than Newbee, since they've already established themselves with the Gyrocopter carry. And it's really hard to say, they've got a Gyrocopter carry, let's fight them. You know, let's actually try and get the better early game against
especially
that.
with the Quap now. Quap Gyro, this team fight is, they have a lot of damage. But then again, VG has two shields. If they ever get their hands on a mech, they will definitely be able to combat it, but they definitely want to look into split pushing and picking them off rather than head-on fighting them. It's not wise against a Quap and a Gyro.
Yeah, certainly not.
Do you think they might go back for a Void here, Vic?
Void is definitely a possibility. What else? The Slark is a really nice hero against the Gyro, as well as the Ogre. Not as good against the Quap.
Yeah, the Quap would be a little problematic, but...
Yeah. Maybe even the Storm, because they don't really have any control for him right now. And Ori lost his Storm.
Newbee's turn to pick.
Tinker.
Oh.
There's a huge amount of them.
That is really weird that they would pick it on the 4th, because they got the last pick.
Yeah.
So if they really wanted to Tinker again, they should have last picked that one, I feel.
I wonder what kind of safe lane hero they're trying to keep out there. Or maybe they really thought Newbee was going to make that read and ban away the Tinker.
It would
It's
be
very
very
team
hard
fight.
read, though.
Very team fight heavy
that's-
already, though. I mean, they then pick a 4th here and... Yeah.
But speaking about synergy, you can TP on the Hawk, on the Boar, on the Creep that he summons, so pretty much where Beastmaster is, Tinker will be, and they will be able to kill pretty much everyone. Because there's way too much burst damage.
The vision is super good once you start getting the Aghanim Scepter and you start spamming out rockets and stuff. The Tinker just gets a lot of free harassment.
Well,
Does this also give Newbee a bit of a headache in the sense that Vici are kind of going, well, let's pick it 4, because then we send the signal that we can deal with your team fight. So then Newbee then going, oh yeah, this isn't going to work. Let's try a different way with 2 picks to go. Does that not break their draft?
it does in a certain way, but I also think they might just off. No, never mind.
Well, let's stick with it then.
Yeah.
Well, I thought they might.
They've gone down the road now, haven't they? So there's no.
Yeah.
They're going to go down
everything. So they're going to last pick their support, which is very rare. This patch. Well, I guess if you're a first pick, it doesn't really matter when you pick it because they will have last pick either way.
Turn to ban.
They have the Bad Rider, Ogre.
Yeah, I can't think of too many other heroes that would be more valuable in the offlane right now than this Bat Rider. Like maybe you ran a Beastmaster or sorry, a Sand King or something.
Yeah, but they needed something for the Tinker, and Bad Rider is the premier choice for that. But even now, they will still have a very hard time against this Tinker. Because
the Wyvern still.
5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised nobody picked that one up.
Well, maybe they leave it till 5 because they didn't need to. Not been banned, so that's fine.
Well, Newbee will need a... No, they play Ogre as 5 usually, right? And then Kaka and Roamer. Yeah. And maybe a Sand King for him, something like that. By the way,
yeah, Lanham's usually the Ogre.
I actually like Sand King a lot because it would give you another initiator, and it's also a hero that pushes out waves for you.
Yeah, you need that against the lineup.
Yeah, that's just nice, right? Because you know Tinker and Beastmaster are going to split the hell out of this game.
By the way, the Tinker pick, now that I think about it, makes a lot more sense because they already showed STC always plays the Quap. Like, always. Because the Quap is just amazing. And they also showed the Gyrocopter, so these like really good heroes against Tinker, Zeus, Storm, they can't really be picked anymore. So the Tinker Fog pick actually makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Oh, the support Clockwork.
Okay.
I actually forgot it's in the pool.
Yeah, me too.
Because against Tinker, Clockwork is one of the best heroes early on, at least.
Yeah, because like, what are you gonna do? Like, you have to get like a Force Staff as a Tinker. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's really awkward at times. It looks really funny that when you're on a rearm in the cock, you go like, ooh, ooh,
Yeah, you just keep on.
hula hoop, hula hoop.
You may now select your heroes.
That's okay. We just wanted a good fighting core, right?
Yeah.
Because we know the Tinker is gonna carry late game.
And it's not bad against Gyro anyways. Of course, it owns the Bad Rider and lane as well. Weaver was a really good last pick.
Yeah, it was. It was super strong.
Pulls it all together.
I mean, I naturally side a little bit more with the lineup that just feels a little bit more synergistic and plays faster. So I like the Gyrocopter Quap, even though they picked it up early and everything. But I do think that Weaver was just strong enough to be able to win them, or at least stall out the game to a point where Tinker wins the game for them.
Okay, Black.
I think I also have to go with Vici.
Both of you on the Vici.
Sorry, but they're my boys.
I know you're used to like the analysts always disagreeing with each other,
Well, it
but
depends whether
Black and I share a bond.
Yeah.
It depends whether Blitz is on the panel or not.
Yeah.
It's the only time we get
that's
also
true.
true Discord.
Yeah, he just does it out of protest.
Indeed. Right, time to head over to the arena for your first game in the grand final. Toby Wanamalini, take it away, boys.
It's great to be here with so many legends around us. Chinese Stream actually has RTK and Burning casting over on that one, but you have myself and Malene to carry you through this game. Newbee versus VG. Not the first time Newbee being in a grand final, a best of 5 final. I think they would like a different result though to the last time they were here.
It's been a tough road for them.
Yeah.
They've been doing pretty well post-TI, not suffering the same doldrums. I guess they didn't win, so maybe they're not prone to that curse.
Yeah. But hey, winners today, maybe, but Vici Gaming is where the panel was at least leaning at the end of the draft. They are pulling out something new and different for us at least. We're going to have the Tinker appearing, the Weaver final pickup. How do you actually like the draft as well, and how Newbee was reacting to that Tinker 4th pick?
This draft in the latter phase was just very strange overall, with the 4th pick Tinker, and then the last pick support coming out from a Newbee. I mean, overall though, if you disregard the order of the draft, I think it's pretty even, I would say. Like both have, you know, they check all the boxes in terms of taking down objectives, late game, lanes, catch, team fight. So overall, just well-rounded.
Do you like the Undying first phase? I think that's like the only weakness as far as core heroes that are being picked up here for VG.
It's a little bit weaker, I would say, especially with the Gyro immediately picked up. But I think it's fine. It's position 5 or position 4, right? So
yeah, it's position 4.
So you can just go a more decay-oriented build instead of relying too much on the Tombstone. Tombstone, they don't have a good way to protect it. I really like it when they have like ways to protect the Tombstone, but this game not so much.
They've got almost nothing unless you want to start taking into account blind from the laser as well as Master Machine's cover fire. That will make it difficult for Newbee to get in close, but
by that time, it will be like Ag's laser would make Tombstone useless because you're super late in the game. Well, actually, there's that talent on the Undying that I don't really see that often. The +3 Tombstone zombie damage.
okay,
Could be good.
we'll see if they go for it. The +30 zombie, is that the +30 zombie
Damage.
Yeah, as opposed to +3 Tombstone attacks.
Yeah.
To keep it alive.
I'm not sure which one people take, because I don't see Undyings get level 20 that often.
Well, maybe this game will get it. Kaka is trying to create some space in the mid lane, just trying to give a better lane matchup to SCCC against Ori, force him to burn a little bit more mana before the bottle's going to be available. KP is running this off lane, Paparazzi on the safe, Fenrir supporting to try and push him out. And this puts a dual situation on the bottom lane with the Gyrocopter and Ogre together versus the Beastmaster Undying combination. So a lot of melee on that lane, and the top lane's going to end up being a duel as well. So we're going a 2-1-2 split across the lanes as Kaka has moved north.
Yeah, looking at where Kaka actually wants to try and get a kill. There's no stacks on Fenrir up top, so it's going to be pretty difficult for him to nail that kill, and his time mid is of limited usefulness. Maybe during nighttime I think he can wrap around and get a kill, but during daytime I just don't really see it happening.
Yeah, just seems to work right now for SCCC. Like, he gets his level 2 up. He just stand in the lane. His CS is already fantastic. Like, he's 4-6 versus that 3-2 Tinker. So the first part of the lane works nicely. Keep the rotation going. Boogie, a little bit of trouble on bottom lane, but there's no big controls. There's no Call of the Wilds. There's no balls to slow him down. So this isn't going to be much of a problem. And while Kaka is running interference on the top lane, there should be no gank attempt on KP either. No way for Paparazzi to move when Kaka brings that Sentry Ward and plants it smack bang in the lane.
I saw you miss that pool, Faith.
Wow.
He only got one creep there. I mean, it actually kind of hurts because there you got double waved into Vici's tower. So you need to try and pick up some experience in the meantime, or stack. You really need to make use of all those minute timings when you have a gyro on your team.
And that KP TP out took forever to go back to the tier 1 tower. The Maledict will trigger and he'll pop down to 108 and then just salve back up again. Burns a little bit of the mana of Fenrir and as well as Paparazzi. But nothing that can't be re-earned when you've got a Bat Rider throwing down sticky napalms. Paparazzi's already got 12 one charges on himself. So that kill is practically impossible.
Yeah, that's just not really happening. Maybe if you catch him inside a cog. Maybe. But that's just highly improbable. So Kaka, you know, more so just protecting in this early stages of the game as opposed to looking for any offensive moves. Again, once nighttime comes around, I think he has a much better chance of killing Ori as Ori is down the hill.
If he can just close the distance on him, SCCC can do a lot of early harassment. That's why he's gone the 2 points up in Shadow Strike. So a 2-1-1.
A lot of them is actually hanging around mid, not exactly sure what his plan is here. Maybe if he thinks that SCCC is going to blink aggressively, he might be able to do something, but
then Ori has to play bait game. Like, he's still got the salve available. No rotations coming in from the Clockwork, so Newbee, they're still very defensive up on the top, so, okay, Latham doesn't really see a chance to engage. Walks in, harasses, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, maybe just killing some time until bounty runes.
Kaka denying up the cogs. Make sure nothing is given to Paparazzi.
At least I think actually his plan was kind of scat out if they have any stacks for the Gyrocopter. He wants to see what the Ogre is doing because the Ogre is actually playing a very defensive support in the bottom lane. He's not really zoning out the Beastmaster. He's not really harassing mid, so
Gonna go again.
What he's up to.
That Maledict is out. Fenrir trapped inside at the moment. 2 points in the battery assault. There's a lot of damage from Kaka. He'll get the kill. He'll probably sacrifice his own life. 6 charges are available. He's trying to deny himself up. Doesn't work, however. The Satyr does not allow it. Or Paparazzi, I should say, does not allow it by pumping in the last point of damage. So a 1-for-1 trade-off. But it's that roaming Clockwork looking for a kill here in the first nighttime phase. And he'll instantly come back for the other bounty rune as well. Ori. Oh, man. He's got salve and bottle so he can regenerate back up again, but it's still a painful experience for him.
Yep, that Observer Ward does not quite see Lanham, though. He is just out of range of that Observer Ward to the top left.
Well, here comes Clockwork, the aggressive blink forward. Lanham's going to try and do something about it with a decay, but here comes the Cog Trap with the battery assault. It's all connecting into Ori. SCCC, the creep wave turned and attacked him. He grabbed the aggro, so eventually died because the range of the melee is turned on him. Now on bottom lane, Muji and Faith teaming up together. Poor Beastmaster, a master of nothing apart maybe the Fog of War if he can master this. Salves up, TPs, Young 11, he's going to escape! Newbee, it's like they tied their own shoelaces together and fell over!
Wow, what a juke. That seems so improbable.
Oh, Kaka, goodbye Kaka. He got so aggressive in there, couldn't cut back out of the... Oh, wait, no! Really? So low on life, Lanham can't reach it, the decay, the rage, just too short.
Another salve, another life.
Oh boy, close calls. At least the game has started to spice up a little bit more. I was concerned 4 minutes into this game we'd be having ourselves a bit of a snooze fest until 20 minutes, but rotations are kicking in. The nighttime phase, both teams are really trying to make the most out of that Vision game.
Yeah, Faith has actually not been playing aggressively at all. His mostly just, he's more like, you know, kind of trying to play the farm-oriented 5 and just maybe not be so poor, which is very unusual for Ogre. He doesn't have that much CS, but he's just trying to grab his levels on bottom and zone out the Beastmaster the best that he can.
Does he do that just because it punishes Vici for running this 2-2-1?
I mean, it's not really punishing them, though. He's not... I would say if he were getting up Ancient stacks...
Oh, Kaka.
Or large stacks, it would be fine.
Got to stun him through the trees. He got him! Stunned him up, block him up with the calls. He knew something was awry because Lanham walked underneath the Radiant Observer Ward. He needs a little bit more damage. Lanham is just so damn tanky. At 800 HP, the raindrops were protecting him, but he's in the middle of nowhere. You'll lose the Tinker in the meantime. Paparazzi. He's going to try and get a little bit of revenge on the SCCC. This is a huge kill if he can claim it. The bugs are on him. We can blink away. Elsewell's having the one charge as we go back with the Undying, running around the Hellbear Smashes. But Kaka, with that little trowel, is able to dig him a grave.
And they get the D-Ward. That hurts for Vici. And the Tinker dying. So they probably need some stacks of their own. Look at Ori's farm. He is very, very poor on this Tinker.
16-7 to the 26-20. 20 denies for SCCC. Yeah, we know his Queen of Pain in mid lane is a sight to behold, but this is wonderful.
Yep, he's going to be vulnerable for a very long time. This is the hero that you want to keep down because
top lane, KP, get over the river, try and put out the fire, and he will be back to safety.
You want the Clockwork to be able to kill the Tinker as long as possible. And
God, they're going to keep doing it again. You wanted it, you got it.
Yeah, this is going to be really hard for the Tinker to come back from, I think.
How do you do it? Like, do you just push him into the safe lane? Do you bring the Weaver into mid?
Usually it's just stacks. He just needs like a 3 stack, I would say. The medium camp is generally a little bit better than a large camp because you have many less of the magic resistance creeps. But he really needs bots blink ASAP. And the Weaver might need to consider building something a little bit different. Paparazzi looks like he's going for an early Diffusal Blade, but you're not going to have a 4-step on your team to help out this guy. So if he gets caught out by the Clockwork, he's just dead. There is absolutely no saving him in case he gets hookshotted. So, I mean, I'm talking like, you know, after Boost and Blink, but he's still working on Soaring.
This is a rough start for VG Gaming, no doubt about that. Beastmaster is at least trying to catch up. He's the one farming the stack. They're getting Young 11 a little bit more farm into him. He's got visions of Necro books. We'll try and make visions a reality.
Yeah,
and maybe with his roaming, with his raw initiation having Necros behind him, they could have the damage, but they can create space for the Tinker to do work.
They have a lot of AoE to burn down these Necros. Level 1 and level 2 are not actually going to do that much here at all, I would say. They are stacking up Ancients, but I'm not exactly sure who's going to take it out on the Dire side. They have the
Tinker.
They have the Tombstone, but they don't have the damage. Tombstone's one of the best spells at tanking Ancients, but just no damage. Maybe you got like 2 Prowler spawns, but that's not the case.
One for now.
Yeah, so they still need a lot of time until VG can actually do something. Like Necro 1 on its own is not going to do anything. Weaver, very far away from the Diffusal Blade. Tinker, very far away from fighting Shape. And in the meantime, you have Clockwork, who's going to hit level 6 very, very soon. He's almost level 6 without the Tome. Kaka is going to be a force to be reckoned with. They have to address him somehow. I'd say, like, maybe 1 counter gank as a start can slow him down enough. Maybe if you save the Tinker and get the clock kill in response, you can actually level out the Tinker's game. But as it's going, as the course is steering right now, he's off for a chain feed game.
BG's coming. They're coming into mid with the smoke up. Karkar's in the neighborhood. Doesn't have his level 60 up. SCCC. He is ready. Fenrir and Young 11 attempting this gank during the daytime.
They have no catch for him.
They really don't. It's the Raw. Like, they need the Raw to be able to connect, but it's just not fast enough for Young 11. Especially when you got the reflexes of SCCC.
And it's daytime. Daytime, even with the smoke, is just very improbable.
So
I wonder why they do try and force it then, because VG Gaming were backing up, they're farming up the Ancients, they're farming up the camps. Now Kaka is going to try and do something about that. He'll battery assault. Young 11's got the roar. Cogs are up. There goes your roar out. SCCC's nearby. He's got Sonic Wave and Foul. He picked it out. Cleans the creep wave on the side, but at least there's a try keeping Young 11 alive until the secondary burst. SCCC with a double kill. They'll turn to Ori. Why is he here as well? He won't be part of a paparazzi. You have to clean up. You have to make this work. Right now he just wants faith, but SCC's killing off all of his friends. The friendless VG. They want to fight. Paparazzi's there for stun number brought down. The ultra kill. SCC, welcome back to the upper crust. A neutral creep will deny our faith as well. Man, I love this guy playing Queen of Pain, but just Newbee's aggression. Newbee contesting the stacks he said was going to bring him back into this game.
Yeah.
And Vici Gaming lose everything.
That was a perfect Sonic Wave too. He threaded the needle. He casted an exact right point to hit both of those heroes. He was like pretty close to not hitting them. They like spread out. Yeah, that was a beautiful.
They threading the needle. He blew out the needle.
And Ori dies again, which is very troublesome for him. Again, I don't know why they bother stacking the Ancients. I think the Beastmaster did it, and he's like closest to that camp.
Yep.
But they need just regular camps. Like, no one's going to be able to farm Ancients on their team for a very long time. Maybe a 2-stack I could see the Weaver doing, but 3-stack is just really inefficient for the time.
This is going to escalate things very quickly. A Lincoln Sphere build is what SCC is looking into. So the Beastmaster Roar, you already called about like the lack of lockdown on him. It's now going to go even higher. Queen of Pain will move wherever she wants. A full Mask of Madness. Moogie was close to completing it before the fight. Now he has it done with Phase Boots, with Aquila, with Magic Wand. And Fenrir picked up on the top lane. The supports are going to be so far behind in levels. Paparazzi wants something, but he couldn't even hit with a Swarm. So KP starts the TP, knows Paparazzi doesn't have what it takes.
He's the only one that can do anything in this 12 to 20 minute phase of the game, I would say.
They're contesting the stacks again. If Moogie 1 can push Tinker off this, thanks to their aggressive observer, they see it, he can just take the stack. He's only got 2 points up in flat cannon, but it's that money they need.
At least he got some of the Ancient stack, it looks like.
Oh, Young 11 just walked down into the creep wave. You want to farm it. SCC's TPing into the tier 1 tower. They bling in the homing missiles on him. There is no way Young 11 will escape from this.
Somebody needs to create space for them. Their high ground defense is not even that great. Tinker is like mediocre.
Drop a tombstone deeper in the base.
Yeah, it's
well, Lasso is up and running and undying. Again, one of these supports that's shy of level 6. Not that his level 6 will help him, but both the supports from VG Gaming are at level 5.
They're about to lose both their T1s too. So this Ancient that Tinker, or this Ancient stack and the area that Tinker was just farming, you can say goodbye to that.
Yep.
And they've already lost the T1 top a while ago.
He's not even killing off the big granite golems and the black dragons. Ori cannot stick around long enough to farm it. So they put down an Observer and Sentry VG to at least maintain some level of vision, but we'll say goodbye. That hook shot over. Fenrir trying to actually counter it, but it's just too much damage. The roar from Young 11. Clockwork, maybe? Okay, it will be enough. It's a 1-for-1 trade-off. At this point, VG is going to be happy with that. If they can pick off a couple of the retreating heroes, this will also work. Faith, decent amount of armor on him. SEC is trying to get rid of the bug. He's doing a pretty damn good job as well.
Notice how Paparazzi's at every single one of these fights too. If he's out farming, Tinker's definitely going to be farming because he doesn't have BOTs. Yep. So they need the Weaver there. If it's just the 2 supports in the offlaner, they're going to get crushed in all these fights. So I really like the way that Paparazzi's been responding to this very poor early game from VG. Just always there trying to, like, he does not prioritize his defusal. He knows it's not that important relative to Tinker's BOT. If Tinker can't do any damage, they're not going to win the game.
Well, they're trying to get him that farm, but even the stack, like, it's most of the Ancients which were there before have not been killed off. Only the small camps were attacked. But while VG are trying to lock in the resources coming from the jungle, Moogie took the tier 1 tower out in the mid. There's only 1 remaining tier 1 tower from VG, and as you mentioned, it's so important to hold that map control.
Yep, at least they didn't lose it. However, on the flip side, you have KP who almost has his Blink Dagger, so things are... First, it was like Clockwork before level 6, and it's Clockwork with a hook shot threatening all their teams. Now it's going to be the Bat Rider. There's just too many fires to put out.
And they're going to get the proper stacks as well. Like, this is now going to make 2 trip stacks. And there's a double stack off to the side, so this will be KP's Blink Dagger with change.
Have they just completely ditched that right jungle on the Dire side? No one wants to farm that. They know it.
They have to know it's watered, right? They have to know they cannot contest the vision. They tried. but the supports don't have money to fuel this. Like, there's one sentry ward on Lanham. Witch Doctor attempted to deward and he lost his life for it.
Yep. Almost BOTs. Just one more camp and he'll get it. And then he can start playing the game.
Yeah. It's like, Hari is no longer a hero for the first 15 minutes to 16 minutes of this game. Newbee are going to smoke up as a 4-man. They're looking for another target. It's Young 11. He's got the level 1 Necro book completed at the moment. Talon's taking a decent amount of damage. Rocket, it gets the vision. Young 11, lock him in, kill him off. Not even going to use the clock because that would restrict Newbee's movement. Mookie arrives, but it's Karka who takes the kill. Heavy amounts of money flooding in. This 7.5k net worth gyrocopter already has the sun, just meant to buy the 1k agility to bring in the S and Y. But there's Diffusal, there's BTs at the same time. 16:11, mark the official time in the clock. Until KP kills the paparazzi, which is about to happen. Blink Lasso, SCCC commits the magical damage. Everything's coming up, Newbee.
They just bought the Diffusal Blade though,
They
so
did.
he didn't lose that much gold before he died. And I really like Clockwork's item build too. He went for a very tanky build with just mass HP and mitigation with the medallion. He knows he's going to die in the fights. He just wants to absorb as much damage as he can. I think some position 4s are kind of afraid of dying, and you might get like a Tranquil 4 staff or something like that. That's not that much HP and not that tanky, but it's okay. You don't really need to do the damage. You don't really need to survive, because if you die and they have to throw everything at you, these guys are going to get big.
It always feels
But
odd when
there's
4 heroes inside the pit from Newbee. They're trying to kill off Roshan before VG can respond. FaZe was doing the deboarding, reveals people are coming in. The roar is on the Ogre. Flamebreak tries to create space. Damn, that Ogre is tanky. Roshan's not dying fast enough. The Master Machines are down. KP keeps the Firefly down, and now maybe with the call down, it's all down. VG losing so much, but at the same time, they still haven't done the objective. Roshan did so much work for VG. All this early damage, Paparazzi can now capitalize, killing off Moogie. He's down for 51 seconds, and now it's up to Newbee to defend the Roshan. They put so many resources into this, it's not working. The Tinker just TP's back, and now they even find KP. The TP won't be in time. The mana burn damage, the fact that Tinker could come onto the Hawk, it allows VG Gaming to get more and more. SEC's in the neighborhood. Does he jump? Roshan, 200 HP. FaZe comes in. The Sentry Ward's down. Roshan's down. He looks for the snatch. It won't happen. SECD, where is that damage? Doesn't have Sonic Wave. Only has Scream. Lanham is low, but now he has to blink away. The Master Machines were doing too much damage. Clockwork misses the hook shot. The urn charge may be enough to kill off Lanham. He's got a soul rip. In 2 seconds time, he decays to get the life, and it will be enough to allow him to survive the urn, and VG Gaming get away with multiple murders.
Whew. That medallion was not enough for them to take down Roshan. I think they vastly overestimated their single target damage there. Also, Gyrocopter opted for the Sange part over the Yasha. Maybe with the Yasha they could have done it? I don't know. That's a pretty significant change in damage. So FaZe does his job as an Ogre, as an Ogre should. Pop the smoke, reveal vision for everyone, but now they're caught in this really tough spot. Versus like 15%. They don't want to leave the pit at all. Great call down coming out from him, but the Tinker is just free to fire away on the back line. KP had already used his lasso on the Weaver up top, and he just TP's out, and then TP's onto the Hawk that you mentioned. That's just to the northeast of the pit.
Yeah, VG, it's something we haven't really touched upon much. Like, we talked about the vision game that was happening around the Ancients, around when VG were focusing on bringing down those camps, but having these Hawks available for VG allows them to contest things like Roshan. And maybe that was the other reason why Newbee had 4 heroes in there. Clockwork was trying to tank up Roshan, but then he was a non-factor in the fight at the very beginning.
Yep.
How do you make that work when now you've given a large amount of money over to VG Gaming? They're going to be moving forward, and like Beastmaster was thinking about level 2 Necro Book. Now he's 100 gold away from getting a Blink Dagger. They're going to get that initiation. Lincoln Sphere is at least done on the Queen of Pain, but the momentum for a Quap is lost. They smoke up, Lanham, hook shot onto him, they need to bring him down. TP's coming in from SCCC, and the lasso, KP trying to drag him into more. Right now, the paralyzing cast making it difficult for Newbee to move around, but the cooldown's done some difficult work. The Paparazzi, the time lapse, he bails out of it. So it's a 2-for-2 trade-off. It's support and cause Going down for Newbee, just the supports for VG, and we'll see what the course left can do. Young 11, he's low on life, but here comes the Tinker. Back to the front lines with the rockets, with the laser. Moogie can't hit anything right now, and the negative armor is really hurting him. They're basically like paper. Kaka back behind the tower with SCCC, but Moogie, he needs some distance. The rockets on Paparazzi is canceling off the chase, but Moogie, he finally got rid of the bug. Down to 19 HP, he's in the fog of war. Paparazzi has nowhere to go. He'll run the opposite direction, checking the trees. And Newbee should count their lucky stars to get add that with as little casualties as they did.
Yeah, they're a little bit. Whew, yeah, I'm so surprised that they didn't lose any more. And now Clockwork's in a little bit of a tough spot where he doesn't actually have the blade metal to deal with this Tinker. And Tinker, who was struggling so much, actually went first item force staff after the BOTs just because he's so scared of this Clockwork. And, you know, you want force staff at some point versus the Clockwork. I didn't expect him to get it first, but, you know, if Weaver went for the more offensive build and they're going to be outputting the damage, they have done this really nice switch where they can just have the Weaver playing offensively and the Tinker going defensively, especially with the Aegis on the Weaver.
You want that aggressive like one position from VG, we definitely have it now.
Yeah, he's been their savior for this early game. Without him being in all those fights, I think NewBee just would have completely rolled over Vici. Yeah. But he kept them in the game, and
that's what makes this game even like more entertaining to watch. The fact that you don't just say, hey, let's just do 4-on-1. Like, we actually are 5, and now we're gonna have 5-on-5. VG smoked up, looking for the gank up in mid. The Hawk is giving vision to the back lines, while NewBee is playing around with the Ancient Prowlers for the moment. They want the fight. Kaka's got the hook shot. The Hawk sees so much for VG, but they feel they can take this. The Master Machine's giving a lot of cover fire around the tower. KP gets rid of the Hawk, has the Firefly up, but difficult to blink in. So much Master Machine, so much damage he would have to submit himself to. Meanwhile, VG just continuously spam.
There's actually not that much time left in the Aegis of the Immortal, so they don't really want to force it too much. Just free T1 for them.
Yep, NewBee will back off. Tinker will keep the pressure on the bottom lane, but Kaka's headed north. He has a TP scroll, so he can come back into this fight pretty quickly. But for now, he's not. They're going to amplify their damage too. I think there's a Veil of Discord I just saw over on the Witch. Actually, was it Witch Doctor?
Undying.
Undying, yep.
Yeah, very good with the Tinker. A lot of March damage, a lot of heat-seeking missile damage. Let's see.
No real answer from the cores as well to counter build that. Like Clockwork's going initiating items, like pest items, not survivability. It's not like we have a Tidehunter in this game that would build both mech and pipe. It's not like Ogre's going to ever afford that.
Once he gets that 60 GPM, man.
Yeah. Yes. Save your pennies and maybe one day you can pay off your college debts.
In 30 minutes, you can get a hood. Nice. SCCC can still do a lot, though.
Yeah. The top 2 networks still belong to NewBee. Like, we do sound a little bit like Doomsayers just because NewBee's most recent engagements are just not going their way. But there's still a lot of net worth for them to play with. Moogie has the SMY done. He's now recipe away from BKB. SCCC is like 100-ish gold away from having his Orchid.
It's just I'm more worried about their ability to kill the Tinker now that, like, you had this Clockwork who was so strong relative to the Tinker, and now he's like really far behind. He can't catch up with the Tinker. You want the Clockwork to be able to match the Tinker in items, because he's always going to be an item ahead, I would say, because the Tinker...
Oh, the wrap around. Hook shot. They find the target. It was meant to be. The Weaver in through the rear, but now it's all NewBee. They push forward. VG can't escape the bunny. I think their own tombstone. At least Ori with the lasers causing a couple of problems, but the tombstone's down. Fenrir triggers the ulti, but he cannot channel it forever. He'll end up ticking down to the flame break. 3 euros lost from VG. Kaka will pop to the Maledict that was there from Fenrir. The KP running the perfect line, finding Paparazzi. And the hero was lost early on.
I don't know who popped the Linkens that quickly for them, but that was great, whoever did that. Because that Batrider doesn't have a force staff himself, so it wasn't him. But they popped the Linkens on him. Paparazzi felt pretty safe in the corner.
Let's have a look at it again. So he comes in close, and then hook shot, stun, and then lasso back.
Yeah, they actually threw everything at him. Maybe he thought that the Sentry Ward wouldn't reach him in time, but I think there was a Shadow Strike and an Ignite that came out and popped his Lings, and immediately after that he got lassoed. Great reaction by KP there.
Kaka's probably going to be a little bit sad he had to die at the end of all of it, but
he knows that's his job, man.
Yeah,
that's your job.
It really is. But he got his money. He has the 4-staff, even though he doesn't actually have it in his main inventory. Probably waiting to use his TP scroll, and then he can switch. Yeah, he actually does exactly that. So maneuverability is going to increase for the Clockwork. He is building the pipe for his team. I'm just saying that this is his job. So there's no Blade Mail. He's actually being the sustain for Newbee.
Yep, just absorb as much as possible.
Oh, Beastmaster. The Roar is out. The Necrobook's instantly triggered. Hookshot and Foresight of Valve from Kaka. And here comes KP to the front lines. The call down. They hookshot one. In fact, the Kong. It catches 3 of VG. They'll all be ignited up. Mugen getting some good damage, but missing uphill a little bit as well. Ari barely surviving a death. One paralyzing cast from Fenrir. Oh boy, that's not what Newbee wanted. Multiple choke points. They were fighting it. Now VG Gaming on the hunt, looking for more heroes who are currently training up. So SEC is back up to full. He has Sonic Wave off cooldown in 10 seconds time, and with that they might be going to take the fight, but VG barely held the high ground, but it worked for him.
Batrider actually went for the Beastmaster over the Tinker there. I don't know about the decision from KP. He was clearly in vision over there, and he had just used his 4-step. I thought that Tinker was surely going to die. Great cog by Kaka.
Yep.
Caught 3, but sadly it was just up the cliff.
It looked more like the logic was like, okay, KP is like, we jump Beastmaster, we kill the Beastmaster off, then we deal with everybody else. But the rest of Newbee went for the 3-man cog with Flaghead, and how could you blame him?
He already casted all his spells on the Beastmaster too, so he's like not that value. If you maybe catch him before the Necro, I think he might be a worthy pick over the Tinker, but maybe he just thought it was going to be a way easier kill. Maybe he didn't notice that Tinker's blink was down, but regardless, it would have been much more value for them to kill the Tinker in that fight.
Tinker got so much sustain too. Now he's actually got this 10% spell lifesteal.
Oh, that's because the movement speed talent is useless.
Yeah. But it's easier for him to survive. Newbee about to be hunted by VG. The Hawk is watching SEC very closely. It sees everybody, and Newbee, they have no idea. VG have done the old wraparound. The Trojan Horse jump forward. The Roar is onto KP. Face, he tanks up a hell of a lot, and the call out from Mugi is quite good. Can Paparazzi? No, he can't time-lapse in time. Kaka will miss the hook shot. But it may not matter. VG Gaming, how did they lose this fight? They had the vision, they had the high ground. Like right now, they just got Anakin'd.
That 4-stab coming out, I believe for the Tinker, he immediately cast it when they, whoever cast the 4-stab, it was probably Kaka. Kaka cast the 4-stab immediately on the Batrider as soon as he got roared, and then after that, it was just a disastrous fight. That call down was perfectly placed for Mugi. Oh my god, did he do a lot of damage to that fight.
I want to see this again, that fight again, please. Roshan's done, and here we go.
Yeah, it was an immediate 4-stab coming out from KP. Luckily, he was faced the right direction, away from them, and then after that, they don't really have a chance of winning the fight. They all just get blown up. Oh my goodness. Mugi's on the front line just whomping them.
Oh, that's the dream situation for your first BKB showcase as well.
He had it last fight.
Oh, sorry, yeah, he did. Like before the BKB showcase, he just stood his ground, pumped out the damage, and now he's looking at a butterfly build. Yeah, like, he's going to get bigger and bigger and do more damage that VG Gaming can just not penetrate.
The first time that he uses BKB, the Weaver actually laid into him during the BKB, and he was actually forced to retreat during the last like 5 to 6 seconds. But now Weaver has been dying so many of these fights. He's died 2 consecutive fights like very, very early on. It's not like the rest of his team died and then he died. It was he died at the start of the fight. So that means he just has to go more survivability. Well, he didn't get the... Well, he did get the strength talent. He doesn't have strength treads, but I don't think Lincoln's going to cut it for him. I don't really know of any other options aside from BKB for him. I guess it just has to be BKB. He's still going to take a lot of flag damage. He can still get lasso before he pops it, and he can still get Sonic Wave. So
they need Beastmaster then to step up and give them the vision so he can make the right choices in the fight.
I mean, they might just need more 4-staffs on their team to be able to kite during... Or a way to deal with the Batrider. Like, if he gets lassoed, he's just dead. They throw everything onto the lasso target if it's Weaver. So I'm trying to think of a better way to save him in the fights.
Boogie's almost got the butterfly. He's buying out for this as well.
Wow, Quap is attacking ridiculously fast. Almost has like a moon shard with the
Bloodlust.
with
And
one
40 attack speed?
Yeah, and the 40 attack speed.
Oh, perfect catch on Fenrir. Kaka, this is one of the primary reasons they fifth picked the Clockwork. They wanted to have this long-range initiation to work, mainly against the Tink, but it's working against everyone.
I don't think a Nyx would have had the same impact that the Clockwork would have had this game.
You referred to him because he was the fifth ban?
Yeah, because so there's a few.
Oh, there's a vision for the moment. The lasso is down. It's trouble. It's real trouble for Paparazzi. He'd be out of time lapse. Yes! Just gets it up. They want to keep the chase going. SEC needs more in the bank. He's got a silence available in 3 seconds time. The sticky napalm is slowing him down too. And they trigger the Lincoln Sphere. The TP begins, but cancelled by Fate and KP. Well played indeed. One more attack. And SCCC is beyond godlike. A wonderful 14-1-9 performance for him on the KDA.
Damn, he has 14 kills?
He has 14-1-9. This is the reason why you keep picking him a Queen of Pain, even if the matchup is not exactly what you're looking for.
He did fine in the matchup, thanks to Kaka.
Yeah.
Vici weren't able to support Ori really in the same way. They didn't park a hero in mid, and they didn't stack up the right camps for him. So he's been struggling a lot by the wayside. Now gyro cover's huge. And Weaver is going to be like 2 items behind the gyro now. Like you need MKB to deal with it, and you need Butterfly to actually, or you need some sort of more tinky item than the BKB in order to actually not always have to use your time lapse after the flat cannon.
No. And he's going Satanic on Mugi, so you have trouble doing the damage, and then he's going to regenerate it up as well. Here goes your tier 3 tower, large amount of damage early on. And Newbee, they want this fight, they're ready to go. KP into the Firefly, the Rock is giving him deeper vision. Marshal Machine's making it difficult for KP to inch closer, but while VG refused to take this fight with Paparazzi down, it allows Newbee to claim the tier 3 tower, and now they back up.
And very early on in the game, you mentioned like the Undying. Is it really worth? They might actually get. No, they don't get the tower. But you mentioned like the Undying being very first phase for them.
Yeah.
Is it actually going to bite them maybe? Because they didn't have a hard disable. If they had a hard disable, maybe they could have killed that qual.
And you showcase both your supports in the first phase as well. So there's no way just to get like a hard disable out of your support.
And he gets hard or his tombstone gets hard countered by the gyro fights.
That's why he went for a second one. Oh, here we go. The lasso once more. Tinker, he tried to be clever and BT into the tree line. The hook shot, little bit of troubles from Kaka.
That's the beginning of the end. When your Tinker dies like that, you know you're really, really close to losing from there. Because
how do you even survive against it? Like the counter is just too good.
You just have to not get caught. It sounds really difficult, but you just have to play super, super carefully. You have to like cancel your TVs a lot, and
against a Batrider and a Clockwork, it seems almost impossible, especially when they're both running practically a 3 position. It actually gives me good flashbacks to the old days of Kaka when he was actually running the 3 position when he was playing in the small school teams in China. And now, okay, let it rip. The Orchid silence. Beastmaster couldn't stop the roar. The cooldown is expended. The melee ranks is pretty low. Newbee, they just want to bail out of this fight if it's going to be possible. The swarm is dealt with, so the negative armor no longer existing for VG, and they burn the Necro units.
What a clean escape.
Yeah.
Oof, SCCC with that Orchid.
Surgical.
Yeah. Because you don't want to buy back unless you know the fight's going to commit. So generally you'll, if someone gets last with, for example, on Newbee side, or if Newbee lasts with someone, someone's going to buy back. Or on the side of Vici, if someone gets roared, you can buy back on the Tinker. But they weren't able to connect on that, and that's pretty much just a wasted buyback for him. On top of already dying before. So, there goes all your damage on Tinker. You pretty much just have to just resign yourself at this point that you're just trying to survive and provide some utility. Defense and survival is number 1. Doing damage is really low on his list right now. And just you have to believe in Paparazzi. Paparazzi, this is you, buddy.
Yep. No pressure. No pressure at all.
And he's been dying a lot too, so it kind of sucks that he won't be able to do that much damage.
He's 555 across the board. Not the dream for him. A Daedalus is the item of choice from SCCC. It's always a fun item to go for. Like, why do we look at the heavy, like such heavy physical damage? Is it because, as you mentioned, like the Bloodlust attack speed is just ridiculously high for a Quap now?
The attack speed, it used to be cooldown reduction or gold per minute at this juncture, and the gold per minute got changed to attack speed. And 40 attack speed on a hero that actually has pretty decent right click like Quap is actually quite significant and can change you know, you're somewhat weak to BKBs, I would say. You're not like super weak because you generally you can just kite it. But if your team can't kite like you, then you know you can just trade right clicks on BKB with plus 100% attack, almost plus 100.
Oh, let's trade off. Paparazzi's trying to do it. He brought down the tier 3 tower in the bottom lane. The range racks in mid was what Newbee claimed as a return.
Dude, Quap is 25 already?
Yeah,
that is unbelievable.
25 in 35 minutes at 22, almost 23,000 net worth.
That's actually unbelievable that he's 25 this fast. This Fear seems pretty good here. He already has the Lincolns.
Trying just got burnt to bring everybody back up to full. And we'll have our 5v5. Batrider KP. He reveals the entire gang. Quick shot forward. They lock down lineup. There won't be a tombstone apart from the death of the Undying. That's the only thing that's paused up. They clean up pretty quickly. But thanks to the cogs, thanks to the call down, Vici Gaming couldn't cross the river. We're basically playing a game of hot lava. Necro units get picked off and Newbee survive.
I mean, if they really want to be safe, they can just wait till a refresher shard and go for the kill there. But I mean, they still had 2 BKBs, so they were, you know, they're playing that very, very patiently on their end. Poor Lanham.
He knew what he was getting into when he picked that level 15 talent tree. It's like tombstone on death, because what am I going to guarantee do in a team fight? Die.
Yep. But the Gyro has the counter, man, with the +3 flat cannon attacks.
Yep.
You can kill 2 tombstones in a row.
Oh, he survives. He's still going Lincoln. Oh, okay. I know you said he was going to survive for a long time, but this is getting a little ridiculous.
The Lincolns?
Yeah, Lincolns. SEC doesn't like.
He does not need Lincolns. He could. I think if you're really worried about survivability, you can get Scotty.
It's either that or they're worried. Like, because you noticed too when Newbee were pushing into the mid lane, it was SECC who was being the frontline tank. Like, he's the man with the Lincoln Sphere, he's the man with the BKB, and he still had enough damage to do it. But they're keeping the Gyro safe in the back lines. But he's got BKB satanic. Actually, no, why? Why? No, it's fine.
I mean, I guess
he doesn't
want to get roared, I suppose. But I think if it really, you can
glimmer cape him off, like glimmer cape him to safety. You got 4 staffs available.
He's not worried about dying. He wants to do more damage. So the alternative is like MKB, let's say. So you know, if he gets MKB, he can get roared with BKB. So I mean, it's not.
These Necros are burnt so early from Beastmaster. I don't think he really meant to pop that. They meant to hit the raw after the Lincoln Sphere was triggered, but now the Necro is just hovering around. SEC comes back in again. Wants to keep the rags low. Lincoln Sphere. Now the Hex can be triggered off. That's the Tinker. They force off him in deeper, but then the call down. Tombstone's in a nice position, but Mookie, he just starts the damage, bringing down the Tombstone. He gets the Undying because it's a consolation prize as well. The Melee is barely alive. Kaka, a little bit too close to the front lines. The Glimmer Cape trying to keep him safe, but the detection available from the Necro units, allowing him to kill him off.
They have to kill the Stinger. He doesn't have the Aether Lens, so he, like, his Hex cast is not gonna be that long of range. So they need to like kind of predict when and where he's gonna Hex, or if he uses his Blink aggressively, they need to catch him before the rearm of the Blink. But he's the problem in the fights. Yeah, you can force that the Hex heroes out, but it's still gonna be very, very difficult to deal with just mass Hex.
That's so hard to do inside the base though, right? Because like if you're gonna commit in, both KP as well as Kaka have to dive to tier 4 level in order to get them. And then what are you going to get in return? You're going to bring down like a lane of racks. The tank can still offset the push.
If you had a BKB on the Batrider, you could do it. But they don't. I mean, he
or
could.
Do you just set the trap outside? Like, is that it? You wait for the Tinker. You just like they did in the mid lane before. Like Tinker, we know where he's going to TP into the trees right next to mid lane. Clap him, lock him, kill him. Roshan is up, and this will be the next point of contest.
I think you're vigilant about catching him, but you don't rely on that for your path of victory, because Tinker can just sit in base, right? And you need a way to deal with him inside the base. Well, Agents of Peace is also a very good way. You can just throw your lies at the Tinker.
Oh, look at this time. This time they have the damage. Oh, do they? No, they're coming over. Roshan's not dead yet. He's at 2k life. Lanham triggers the ulti. They got the Hex out. Finish Roshan. Jungle just jumped into the middle. And actually, he doesn't get the Aegis the Immortal. He'll die instantly. The refresher shard's left behind. New Vici Gaming, they committed so deep into the Newbee lines. It's just not enough work. They lose 2. Can someone go back and pick up the refresher shard? Moogie, yeah, hey, yeah, you go.
A Hail Mary effort by Vici.
It was.
Trying to do that with very little vision is near impossible. At least Tinker didn't die.
I still felt like we're going to have a rinse and repeat it before, but...
Well, the thing is the mid lane's open, so that just leaves open so many things. Like you can just walk up the hill, and if it's daytime, it's a lot easier. Now it's about to be daytime in just 5 seconds time, and they can easily see the Tinker.
KP, hexed up over on him, quickly lays it. Has the BKB coming on the courier after that's delayed, but then again they get the blink lasso. A nice target, feared up, there was nothing Fenrir could really do about it. This top range rack, SDCC is focusing on it. Remember, he's still got the Aegis Immortal and cheese in the backpack. At the same time, you're running double cheese. Die back on Fenrir. A support life is not a happy one. SDCC, quick blink out. There's your hexes once again. It's onto the Batrider. KP not in a great position. If they can keep that chain hex going, Karka and KP in trouble. The cooldown's there, but SDCC, he goes in. He's already got the triple kill. Time lapse will make him work harder for it. He just wants the Sonic Wave, and well, okay, won't happen. Blink Scream, Ultra Kill up. Paparazzi's back inside the base, but GG is called. Newbee claimed game 1. It took 40 minutes. You have 33K net worth advantage.
Just rampage Paparazzi. He deserved it.
He refuses to straight out right.
He deserved it.
That has to be man of the match, just everywhere, all times, but still, Paparazzi did a fantastic job trying to keep his team in it.
He played amazingly well. I mean, I think MVP probably goes to Kaka or SCCC, either one of those two. But for Vici, I think Paparazzi was clearly